Hey guys, welcome back to another video here at the Outback Shop. This will be part 7 of this RZR 800 build. And as you can see here, guys, I've made a little bit of progress if you've been keeping up. Motor is out, so obviously my puller came in. So finally my cheap ass puller arrived and I put it in there, and you can really, without pulling this tank, I mean, it's hard to get in between, there and, break it out. So I tried a breaker bar at first, and then it ate this up in the end, on the end of it. It went into the, where the bolt goes to hold the primary. Not good. And I kind of stretched some threads here, not good. So I recommend getting the goldish color ones of these. I know they're a little more expensive, but they're made out of higher grade metal. But anyway, I put my stubby impact on that sucker and was able to get it off that way. I recommend using an impact when you're trying to remove these. It helps. But anyway, so here's the motor. It's out of the bike. Me and 2 other buddies of mine were in here last night, and they helped me get it out. Appreciate it, guys. So got the motor here on this table, and from here, I'm gonna start tearing into it, and we'll see what parts we're gonna need to order and get to ordering so we can get it back together and get it back into the bike as soon as we can, because we would definitely like to see what this thing's got. It's got a lot of new parts, I know that. But anyway, I'll come back whenever this is getting torn up. All right, got the head off. There's the pistons, the cylinder, which looks good. I got the lifters out. Everything's sitting over here on this cart, just laying it out. That is what the valves look like at the moment. So you can definitely tell this one was running very rich. So that intake valve was not opening very much, so it wasn't letting very much air in there, and there was a lot of fuel in there. So there's our problem. All right, back to it. I'm gonna take this these cylinders off, get these pistons off, and then start busting into the side cover. All right, guys, check it out. Got the cam out. So got everything sitting over here. Here's the cam. Let me show you how this. You see that lobe there? That's the bad one. Yeah, she was bad, and I guess I wasn't able to see it. Man, I wish I'd have caught that way earlier. But yeah, it's way ate up. So I'm gonna get a new cam, and we'll swap that out and some seals and gaskets and stuff and put it all back together, and hopefully it'll be good to go. So I'll come back whenever the cam gets here. Check it out, my dudes. UPS just stopped off and brought me the rest of my parts. The cam has arrived. Rev6 engine and parts. That is who I ordered from. I called them up. I've been seeing their parts on eBay all over, so I wanted to call them up, talk to them for a little bit. They have a YouTube channel. Watched a couple videos on there, and decided to go with them. So called them up and talked to their sales guy over there. I believe his name was Mike, and he took care of me and hooked me up with everything I need. So we're gonna change these lifters out to a new set. I know the other ones were new, but to this new cam, we're gonna just made them with the same brand, new lifters. The number on this cam is identical to the other OE cam. Here's all my seals for the case, water pumps, valve seals, and a master install kit, engine install kit with gaskets, seals, everything. So that has everything I need. So Rev6, here's their stuff. If you want to go check them out, they're all over eBay, and or give them a call. Let them know Alpha Pack sent you. But so yeah, guys, so now we get to take that cam, stick her in that hole right there, and then we will put all these gears back in and start going in reverse. I do need to clean things up and get it all prepped up before I do the install, but yep, that's what we're working on next. So I'll come back whenever it's time to start putting things in. All right, so here's the two cams side to side. Same part numbers on the right here. All the lobes and everything on this one look good. I do want to make note, there are a couple little marks like here. This is the new one from Rev6. I'm hoping that that doesn't affect anything. But if it does, I'm videoing it now to show that there were some previous little gouges right there in where it rides on the engine, in the engine. So, you know, I don't think it'll mess it up though. All right, well, I'm about to throw those in, or that one in, the new one, using some Lucas assembly lube. Check it out, my dudes. Cam insertion is complete. All my dots are lined up where they need to be. Good to go. I cleaned up everything around it. Cleaned up this shaft here so that the seal seat good. Put Loctite here, and on the Torx bits in the back before I put them in. So now I will get all the parts over here cleaned up, change seals, gaskets, whatever I need to do for that, and go ahead and start putting that all back in little by little until it's finally put together. So I'll come back when I am installing some more parts. All right, my guys, so I got the cases back on. While I had this all apart, I did go ahead and change out the seal for the water pump and the mechanical seal. Every seal in here, gasket, all that's new. So everything's back together as it should be. So now we can move on to the top end after a little bit of bolt removal. So the starter bolt snapped, of course, and I ended up having to beat the case off of the starter because this was stubbed out past the starter. I broke it more trying to remove it. So now I've got to take a welder, weld a nut on there, and take it off. So hopefully that goes easily, and then I can move on to the putting the cylinders on and everything. So we'll see. We'll come back after I do that. All right, making some more progress. Got the cylinder and pistons installed. Got all that done. Didn't make much progress on this bolt removal here. It sheared right at it after welding a nut on there. So that's just going to stay like that. And I'm going to use one screw just to keep the starter in place. It'll be all right. So screw it. Now we're on to the head, which I need to clean up. And I am going to go ahead and take the valves back out of it, clean up the carbon buildup a little bit better around the exhaust valves, because I've noticed that this one isn't seating in as far as this side for some reason. Well, that's probably the reason, the carbon buildup. So I'm gonna pull that out, clean that up, make it seat properly, and also put exhaust seals, like the valve seals for the intakes. They gave me a bunch, so I'm going to put them on the exhaust side as well. I don't think it could hurt. So that's what's coming up next, and I'll show you what it looks like whenever I get it done. All right, guys, so I'm putting the head back together. I've got one side complete, so I used a valve on both intake and exhaust valves. So now they're sealed all up. I was able to get the brushes up in here also and clean everything out, and that's what they look like now. So I left one side open to show y'all. This was the really bad one, and I got that brush in there with the drill, and it cleaned it up pretty nice. And they're seating a hell of a lot better. So this side, like I said, is done. It cleaned up really good, and I'm just gonna keep on. I will show you. So this kit I got came with two different brands of seals, I guess. There were 4 of these and 2 of these separately, and these fit, they don't have the spring around the top. These fit the intake valves a little better than these. This one actually will sit tight on there. Remember, I had sat this thing in vinegar for a while, and it ate whatever coating is around these valve guides. So yeah, don't soak your head in vinegar for weeks on end. This is going to go on the exhaust side. So right there, boom. Anyway, so I'm gonna just keep on, and yep, eventually we'll get it knocked out, and then I'll come back when we're putting it back onto the motor, and hopefully everything just goes smoothly. All right, guys, so I just finished buttoning up the motor. Got just about everything installed on it. There's my one starter bolt. That's how we roll. That's how we're rolling on this one. But yep, everything came together really nicely. Everything's torqued down, ready to rock. And so tomorrow, I believe Justin will be here, and we're gonna try and throw this bad boy back in here. And then we'll plumb everything up, hook everything up, do what we need to get it started, and try this time to hopefully break a motor in. And yeah, I'll take you along. So I'll come back whenever it's time to put this bad boy in here. Bam! It's installed. All right, guys, check it out. The motor's back in and about to start hooking everything back up so that we can try and start this bad boy and see what she's got. All right, guys, making some more progress. I got some axles installed here. They had some Super ATV ones, so I put those back in. This one is double plunging. Move. And so is this one, guys. So we got some beefier axles in the rear here. And yep, it's gonna help turn those big 32s without breaking the axles like toothpicks. Those other ones were real thin. But anyway, I'm gonna start putting some more of this all back together. I do have oil in it and coolant. And I burped the system for the coolant. And I am working on getting that inner clutch cover cleaned up so I can start installing that stuff. But I'll come back whenever I get some more ready to go on. All right, guys, so just got the inner clutch cover cleaned up, got all the old gasket material off of it. And over here, I got this all cleaned up as well, so we can reinstall that and lap it up with my favorite silicone here, ultra black gasket maker, Permatex. This stuff is amazing. I use it on air boxes, all the boots. I also use it on all the inner clutch covers as well. So we'll get that thrown in there, and then I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna clean these clutches up. I believe this was a fairly new belt. It looks very new. And I don't know if it was if these clutches were ever cross-hatched properly or anything like that. So I'm gonna clean them up. Oh, let's not do that. And cross-hatch everything and make sure everything's good to go before reinstalling them. And then we'll put those suckers in, and I'm hoping soon we'll be able to start this engine. But got to get all these little things thrown on first. So I'll come back whenever it's time to do that. All right, guys, check it out. Everything's hooked back up, literally, other than the secondary and the primary being in it. Everything else is hooked up, ready to rock. So as soon as I get those put on there, we're gonna go ahead and try and start this motor for the first time with the new cam from Rev6 and those lifters and see how she sounds. So we'll come back when it's time to crank it. And the moment we've all been waiting for, the first crank of the RZR build after a total rebuild this time, new cam included. So we've got all new parts in it that needed to be changed out, and it's time to finally crank the engine. I've got the primary and secondary on there, the belt's on, so it's ready to go. I've primed it, the fuel pump's primed. I also did cycle the engine quite a few times to get the oil going through everything, and I added some zinc additive to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and cross my fingers here and hope everything goes good. I wanted to get this on camera though, in case anything goes bad also. But I'm gonna have to break this in like John Talley says. So as soon as it starts, I'm gonna have to go through and keep going up and down with the throttle, up and down to about 3,000 RPM till it heat cycles one good time. So here goes nothing. Well, there we go. All right. We have ignition. So I'm going to do this for about a good, I don't know, till it heat cycles, like I said. And then I will come back and we'll see how she did. All right, I just finished up doing one heat cycle. I'm gonna let it cool down, and once it's cooled down for an hour or so, then I'm gonna take it for a short drive and put it under load. So that'll be next. Check it out, my dudes. We are out of the shop, obviously. We are out here at my hunting lease testing out the RZR, and yep, everything's hooked up, right, good to go. I drove it here from the house. So the other night I ended up running it for about 20-30 minutes, putting a little load under it, and then I changed the oil and filter for the first time. And then once I did that, I've been running it around over at the house a little bit yesterday, and then I brought it out here today. So I'm gonna put a couple hours on it today. Everything seems to be working as it should, other than the four-wheel drive. I did figure that out. It is the wire or the case. It's not, the wire isn't making connection somewhere in the case or with the magnet. Hooked up another outer case real quick, and the check engine light went off, so that's what it's got to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and get in it. We're gonna go for a little ride. You'll see in here, it is a little loud in here, that's for sure. All right, here we go. I already have it warmed up, ready to rock. All right, here we go. Especially with these metal doors, it's definitely a little loud in here. The motor's not quiet in, but the motor sounds good. Everything's smooth. Everything's working as it should. It's got that mid to upper throttle range now, which it didn't have before with that messed up cam. I have not tried to go full speed in this thing yet. During break-in, I'm not going to go full out, but I have been running it pretty hard, about 80% of what it can do, and then after the next oil change, I should be able to open it up. But I don't want to like shock the motor after this break-in period with full wide open for just babying it. Like John Telly says, run it like you're gonna run it. That's what I plan to do. There we go. It takes the bumps pretty good, I must say. I turned the shocks down some, and I just let some air pressure out of the tires, which is helping a lot. If I use a rounded tire, I wouldn't hit because it doesn't have that squared off this of the tire rounded. So I think we're going to try that. I think we're going to swap over to the Mammoth on this machine once it's broken in. I think it'll do as well. And then we'll put those BKTs either on the know that my clutching in this thing, I'm probably going to have to get new primary and secondary. I noticed some damage to the secondary, almost like a rocket got in there or something, or I don't know, but it's got some things I was a little concerned about. And the primary, it's got a lot of wear marks in it, and it's super loud. I ran this thing without the belt cover on it the other night, and it was so loud. I thought something was about to break. It's not as bad now, and it's not as bad as like in this RPM range, but it's when you get into the higher RPM, it's like 4,000 to 5,000 RPM. Just the flanking without having that back on. Getting in my drink and everything. Gotta start it. You just slow it down. Slow it down. But anyway, yeah, guys, she's definitely running good. So I'm just gonna continue to, you know, test drive it, put a couple hours on the engine, and then I'll drop the oil and filter one more time, like I said, and then we can like really run it. So I'll come back whenever I get back to the house, and I'll let you know how everything went. So I'll see y'all in a little bit. All right, my dudes, check it out. I've been back for a couple days now from the camp ride, but because as you can see, I have changed the tires. I added some 2-inch spacers with these silverbacks, these 30-inch silverbacks that I had laying around. So I took the 2-inch spacers off the Ranger over there, stuck them on here, and put the 30-inch silverbacks on. They ride pretty good as far as the stance. You know, silverbacks ride horribly on the road in that slow speed. So got everything buttoned up, put the bed back on, put everything back together, guys, put the snorkels on. I wanted to show you, I have the key on to show you. See that 4-wheel drive light? Yeah, fix that. That was a pain in the butt. So what it ended up being was the casing for the magnet. Apparently the wire got pulled from the casing and disconnected it somewhere in there. So I took the outer casing with the magnet on it from Justin's bike over there that we took this diff out of and put it in there. So I swapped the covers, and now we have 4-wheel drive in this bike and not in that bike, but that bike needs work, so it's not going anywhere for right now. So we'll get a new cover or magnet for that other bike whenever it's time. But yeah, guys, so everything's working. I have a temporary switch on the 4-wheel drive. I'm gonna put a regular switch in there, but everything's working, still in braking mode, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. It's been a long journey. If y'all would, I'd appreciate if y'all hit that like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. And guys, we'll see you in the next build. Take it easy.